So, howdy, this is Shannon Kringen, Goddess Kringen, Seattle. And are we going to let the media hijack our lives? Like, I'm listening to people and I'm letting it hijack my life by listening to this. People are being guilt tripped and virtue signal and shamed into thinking that they have to fixate on the storias and the storias. I made up a word, storia. The stories that are mass produced in the mass media. I feel like I'm living in that movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where people's minds are being hijacked. I don't even watch television news at all right now, and I haven't watched much of it in many, many years because I feel like it conditions and indoctrinates and brainwashes people into either rebelling or complying with whatever the agenda and the message is. So I feel like it's good to get in touch with your own heartbeat and your own breath. I agree with what the monks are saying that are marching for peace and listen to your own, I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. Listen to your own heartbeat and your own breath. Why is the camera doing that? I don't even know. I'm wearing my Tom Petty button. Tom Petty widens my jetty. There it is. There. Woo. Tom Petty. See that? Tom Petty widens my jetty. You do the math on that. I did open mic last night at the Rabbit Box. I'm next week. I'm going to do open mic at the C&P Coffee. And I personally do not want the media to hijack my time and people virtue signaling and shaming each other into thinking that they don't care about the problems in the world if they're not going to fixate on the news and argue about what the mass media is telling us. This is something I wrote recently. We have 3 new songs out, Goddess Kring songs called Cowboy Kring, Lonely in the Sand, and it ain't about you, babe. And those are 3 new songs that are now streaming on Goddess Kring Bandcamp as well as my YouTube channel, Shannon Kringen. My new slogan is you got to fight for your right to be an individual and know you're not alone because, in fact, every one of us is an individual, even if we think we belong in whatever group or clique. I personally have never felt comfortable in most cliques or groups or categories of humans other than the category of artist because I think of artists as embracing their individuality. Some people think of an artist as somebody who is just good at physically painting or drawing or sculpting or singing or dancing or acting, whatever the visual or performing art is. That's part of what art is craftsmanship in your actual field of art. But I also think what an artist does from a philosophical standpoint, if you're more of a deep thinker like me, it means you're in touch with your literal individuality and you take whatever that is and you make something and you express from that place. And you show the world something that you would never see if you weren't in tune with your individuality. So, right now, I think there is a war on spirituality and individuality. And when I say spiritual, I don't mean religious. I mean the idea that physical matter is not all there is and that we're connected and there's such a thing as synchronicity. And we literally are all unique, like snowflakes, literally in nature. Every snowflake is a little different, every fingerprint is a little different. And that's actually very precious to me. And that's the part of spirituality. And yet, the term spiritual has also been hijacked by people who want to demonize organized religion. And also, the word science has been hijacked by corporations that want to make money and they don't care about actual objective science. So, that's my thought for today. I wrote that. And then my other controversial thought, and it is now February 11th, 2026, controversial thought of the day. The mass media does not tell me what to do or who I rebel against. I choose that myself, nor anyone on any of the social media websites, which will go unnamed. Freedom for us to choose what to believe in and focus on. So many humans are being hijacked by the mass media message. I want liberation from this cage. Allegory of the Cave, book by Plato. Does that ring a bell? So these are some of my thoughts. And I just wanted to say that I am an individual human that does not fit in a box, and my category is individual human being, happen to be born in a female body, happen to identify as a heterosexual Caucasian person, but that's not really who I am. That's just some category that I fit into generally. But it's so weird that we are so hyper focused on categorizing each other. I think of every human as an individual, and I'm an individual. I could say that my pronoun is I'm Shannon. Who are you? So we're all different. And every single human is completely unique, and this world is magical. And I refuse to get indoctrinated into the machine like slots that are happening. And I wrote a song, Polarized Landscape, about it. Outsmart the Gaslighters, Polarized Landscape, Cancel Culture Vulture, Virtue Signal Soldiers. These are some of the songs that I wrote about the current topic that I'm talking about, which is I think that people are getting hijacked, but I can see why people want to maintain a sense of camaraderie. I have a hard time with that word, camaraderie. Is that how you say that word, camaraderie? That's not a word I use very often. And now I will read a unique set of lyrics that I wrote. Our new song is a little bit comedy. It's called Cowboy Kring. I was a cowboy chasing tumbleweeds long before I was reincarnated as Goddess Kring. I'm not Joplin, but I'm hoppin'. Cow, cowpo. I think I spelled that wrong. I was a cowboy chasing tumbleweeds long before I was reincarnated as Goddess Kring. I'm not Joplin, but I'm hoppin'. Cowpo puncher gets some lunch. I'm an outlaw rebel doing my thing. Mosey on, buckaroo, I got to sing. Rusty nail railroad tracks, cowboy Kring. Giddy up, rebel, tenderfoot. A lick and a promise. Some say I'm a yellow-bellied bad egg, belly aching fool. Barking irons, hurricane, yeah, deck. I'm fixin' to scurry like a sandpiper. Drinkin' brown gargle I'll never forget. Bedroll bat wings. I'm an outlaw rebel doing my thing. Barking at a knot saloon door swing. Rusty nail railroad tracks, cowboy Kring. Hey, Eddie Vedder, yellow Ledbetter, jam this pearl. I'm an outlaw, rebel doing my thing, waiting for the chuck wagon and what it brangs. Fixin' huckleberry. Oh, I was supposed to say fixin' huckleberry pie makes me sing. I left out a word there. There's only room for one of you in this town. You better scram. Snake, snake. Rebel rousing saloon girls drink. Rusty nail railroad tracks, cowboy Krang. So if you go to my Bandcamp, you can hear this song. It's kind of a fun song. And the other fun song is on Bandcamp is Lonely in the Sand. Wrote about San Diego, California, where I was born and grew up. And It Ain't About You, Babe. Also wrote about San Diego, California. I made a mistake. Somebody got mad at me and they said, This isn't about you. Because they thought when I was upset about, I made a mistake and then I apologized and I tried to work with somebody on something and they went, This isn't about you. In other words, you're canceled from the situation. So that is how that person chose to handle it when I made a mistake and I was trying to, in my opinion, they have a different story, I'm sure, about what happened. But from my side of it, it was that I felt like I made a mistake. I was embarrassed. I was trying to apologize and work with one person that was in San Diego and one person that was somewhere else. And we were all three of us trying to work on solving a problem. And those two female people's solution was to just cancel me out of the situation. That was how they wanted to solve the problem. And I got very embarrassed, especially when she said, "This isn't about you." I basically put my tail between my legs and ran away. But they told me, if they wanted me to leave, so I did. So I think they assumed I would argue with them about that. But as soon as they rejected me, I decided I would leave. So that's what I do. When somebody totally rejects me, I just leave the situation. Um, I tried to say, "Hey, can we work this out?" once, and they both went, "Nope, we can't work this out. You're out of here." So I left. So I wrote a song about it called "This Ain't About You, Babe." And actually, it's very healing for me to sing that song, "It Ain't About You, Babe," about my trip in San Diego because I did land on my feet. I had hopefully the other people that were upset with me, hopefully they landed on their feet also. It's none of my business. It's up to them to figure that out because they don't even want to communicate with me. So that's why I don't mention anything about them because it's not about them. It's about me. No, it ain't about you, babe. When I say it ain't about you, babe, it could be me, or it could be you. It ain't about you, babe. So I find that writing Outsmart the Gaslighters, Cancel Culture Vulture, Virtue Signal Soldiers, and Polarized Landscape, and now Lonely in the Sand, about some of my feelings of grief and loss about San Diego and my childhood. It's very healing. And the other song, "It Ain't About You, Babe." So those are the three new songs. And Dave Flowers and I continue to make music. And I'm sad that I'm going to miss the open mic poetry tonight at C&P Coffee in West Seattle, but I will be there next Wednesday, a week from today, which is February 18th. And I will also be there for the open mic February 18th, 6 to 8. And I will also be there March 11th. I will be a featured reader at the Poetry Bridge, CMP Seattle. And that'll be hopefully on my YouTube channel if you want to follow it, my Shannon Kringen YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. And I identify as an individual human and I see everyone else. Even if I meet somebody and they want to tell me all the categories that they fit into and that I'm supposed to pretend like I think it matters what categories they fit into, I take everyone as an individual. I have respect and compassion for everyone, whether I agree with somebody or not. I appreciate everyone's unique individuality. And when I meet somebody, they can go ahead and name off all of their categories, but I still interpret them as a unique individual. And that's how I present myself, as a unique individual human. If you want to know my categories, I'll tell you what my categories are, but I don't think that's really who I am. I think I am a spiritual being that is way beyond just this body and this brain and these eyeballs and these lips and these teeth and my arms and legs and all my body parts. That's just my body. That's not really who I am. And I'm a spiritual being. And it's okay with me if you don't agree. If you're an atheist, that's fine too. Um, I think everyone should have the freedom of speech and the freedom to think what they want and feel what they want. And I think humans also, we sometimes get caught up in what we're doing and we forget about what we're being. So our energy matters. I could have a shirt that says energy matters. How you use your energy matters and how you're being matters as well as what you're doing. I think ultimately it's good if people are doing what they love and they're building up more of what they want in the world. I personally don't think that I serve the world if I fight against what I don't want. Personally, my path is to build up what I want more of in the world, which would be freedom, spiritual energy, compassion, empathy, the freedom of other people to think differently than me, the courage to be authentic, authentic eruption of my soul, molten orange liquid glow. Anger takes its toll, blowing status quo. It's hard to talk about this without contradicting myself. Life is a big paradox, and I'm going to leave it at that. So have a nice day. Art, music, theater. I'm excited to do as many open mics as I can and get my Goddess Kring music last night out there in public. We have our music streaming online. I'm making music videos, and I would like to do a one-woman show with poetry and music and spoken word and visual art and storytelling and Q&A improv with the audience. And I kind of like that there's lines from my blinds that it looks like I'm in a cage. I kind of like those lines. I want to let me out of my cage, let me out of my cage. Let us all out of our cages, please. I want to be a free range human being out of my cage. So I'm excited last night I did the Rabbit Box Open Michael, they call it. It's open mic, but it's called Open Michael at the Rabbit Box in Seattle at the Pike Place Market. And it's right on First and Pike. And it's this really cool bar, and they have pretty lighting in there. And I used my Bluetooth speaker for the first time, and I projected my music into the room, my song, It Ain't About You, Babe, and I danced around and did a little comedic performance, performing with my song, It Ain't About You, Babe, by Goddess Kringen and Dave Flowers. And I had my San Diego, California license plate from my childhood, 1977. And I had my squeaky toy from 1972 when I was 4 years old. And I danced around on stage with it. And the audience laughed. And I was happy that I made them laugh. And it was fun. And I appreciated how unique each performer was. But I notice certain people say certain sound bites and regurgitate sound bites from the news, whether they're positive or negative. I think people want to find camaraderie with each other. So I can't really join in on that, but my way of finding camaraderie is to do the open mic and appreciate everyone's individuality. I say, oxymorons through the door, a group for loners, and they all showed up. So that's it for now. Just wanted to catch up with you. Bye bye. Do what you love.